Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at the topic why public sector enterprises still matter in 21st century India. Do you know India has greater than 350 plus central PSUs? PSUs are nothing but public sector undertakings or government company where government of India has greater than 51% equity stake in them. These PSUs together have a combined assets of 35 lakh crore and together they employ 1.6 million people. Let us look at the history of these PSUs. So the seeds for these Indian PSUs were sown by the then Prime Minister of India, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. He viewed PSUs as the architect and temples of modern India. Therefore, during his tenure, he established many capital intensive industries and companies such as BHEL, ONGC, and many steel plants. Due to lack of sufficient expertise in managing these PSUs, he established Indian Institute of Technologies and Indian Institute of Management, where managers can be produced and be employed in these PSUs. Between 1956 and 1980, there was a rapid expansion of these PSUs and they dominated every strategic sector. In 1969, many banks were nationalized. But the tipping point came in 1991 when there was a balance of payment crisis. At that time, the PSU's inefficiencies were exposed. After 2003, there were many attempts to privatize these PSUs. As a result, DPAM, that is Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, was created. But political backlashes stalled their ambitious plans of privatization. After 2016, we can see Air India was sold back to the Tatas. LIC's initial public offering was done and it was a huge success. BPCL's and Shipping Corporation of India's privatization was attempted, but it could not be done due to various reasons. Let us look at the numbers. Out of these 350 central PSUs, around 100 are loss making. Therefore, the amount to a tune of 4 lakh crore rupees has to be pumped into this loss making PSUs, which are nothing but the taxpayers' money. The Air India's losses went up to 70,000 crores before its privatization. The total NPAs in the banks, around 60% of these NPAs were handled by these PSUs. But yet the strategic PSUs delivered. You can see 70% of India's domestic crude oil is supplied by ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. Around 55% of India's electricity is generated by NTPC and various state PSUs. 60% of India's banking assets is held by the PSU banks. Those are called PSBs. But not all PSUs are equal. They are classified into three categories. So first category is Maharatna companies. Around 13 companies are there in them, which are very big companies and feature in the Fortune 500 companies list. They are ONGC, Coal India, NTPC, Indian Oil, etc. They have full financial and operational autonomy and they can invest up to 5,000 crores independently. Next is Navaratna companies, uh, where they have significant operational freedom and they can invest up to 1000 crore rupees without government approval. The next list is Miniratna companies, which are quite smaller than the Maharatna and Navaratna, which includes CPCL, Airport Authority of India, BEML, IRCTC, and their autonomy is limited. We have to see why the reforms stall. What are the barriers? First one is political resistance. PSU employees are an organized vocal voting bloc. Their unions are affiliated to various political parties and they resist privatization. And also, the government don't want to be seen as selling national assets before an election. Next is the valuation complexity. PSUs hold vast land banks and legacy infrastructure that are nearly impossible to be valued and to be sold. So, this results in undervaluation and the process may take years before it can change hands. Next is physical dependence. The central government heavily depends on the dividends of these PSUs to their budget revenue. Selling these PSUs means they are losing both recurring dividend and a flexible revenue tool. Next is bureaucratic capture. In many PSUs, generally IAS officers are deputed to their boards. This results in uh, decision delays. Let us look into the global perspective of other countries which also have PSUs. Singapore has many companies which are managed by their sovereign wealth fund, and it is held through the Temasek Holdings. So it is a state-owned investment company, and it manages the world famous Singapore Airlines, DBS Bank, as well as Sing Telephone, and it is ranked top globally for efficiency. Norway has a state-owned company called Equinor. It controls Norway's oil and gas infrastructure, and it funds 1.4 trillion sovereign wealth fund, and it is widely seen as a model for strategic resource management. China also has greater than 350 PSUs, and they dominate every strategic sector such as energy, banking, telecom, infrastructure, and they majorly drive the Belt and Road Initiative of Chinese government. In Europe, the government does not directly hold a majority stake in any company, but they have stakes in big companies such as Airbus, Renault, Deutsche Post, and Deutsche Bahn. Next, what are the key takeaways? PSUs are not monolithic. India has actually world-class PSUs and as well as chronic loss makers. So we should not treat them all equally. And the problem is governance and not ownership. Disinvestments by Niti Aayog should have a clear framework. We cannot privatize every other PSU. So it should be left to the parliament and should be legislated. Strategic PSUs need sustained support as energy security, employment, and infrastructure value outweigh the privatization gains. So therefore, we need to reform. We should not sell them. Next, so we should not directly and blindly privatize every other company, and it sacrifices the energy security, defense capabilities, and financial stability for efficiency gains. Also, excessive state control should not be there. Government of India should try to sell its equity stake, and therefore it will create an bureaucratic efficiency. Political interference will be less. Government of India should hold on to its efficient strategic PSUs. It should focus on these PSU should focus on national priorities like the Singapore and Norway.